the more you pre-think, the less time you will take in choosing between the options and eliminating the wrong answers. I would say that. So pre-thinking, the way how to pre-think, what to pre-think, and which are the instances in which you have to pre-think, all those were really wisely covered in this eGMAT framework. And I feel that pre-thinking is must in each and every CR based questions.
Right.
I would say the Scholarinium has helped me a lot, because the kind of questions which are there in the Scholarinium are absolutely stunning. They cover each and every bits and pieces, and I would say every part of the earth. You will not get anything or any database or questions related to all these things. I would say consistency is the biggest thing which you require for preparing for the GMAT examination. You have to be consistent. I was not that consistent in my first half of my preparation, and I could only be consistent in the last 1 month. So
hello everybody, and welcome to yet another debrief session with me. Today with me I have Rohan, who recently scored an impressive 675 on his first ever GMAT attempt, which happens to be his last attempt as well, because he achieved his target score, right? The score breakup looks like a 675 with a Q89, which is massively impressive, and a verbal 82 with a DI 79, right? And Rohan came a long way. He's improved by a massive 150 points. He started with a 525 with a Q80 and a verbal 74 and a DI 74. Today, Rohan is here with us to share his story, to share his experience, to help all the GMAT aspirants out there to achieve their dream target. Welcome to this session, Rohan. Thank you so much for doing this, and how are you?
thank you, Dhruv. Thanks a lot for welcoming me. It is an honor to be here, and I have taken from the community for giving this exam, so it will be great if in whichever way I can help the community back.
Right. That's really nice of you, and that's really thoughtful of you. Uh, so Rohan, before we get into your journey and dissect every section and every decision that you took, the ups and the downs, just help our viewers with a bit about your background.
So I'm from defense background. I have worked with the Indian Navy, and I'll be retiring this year. And I took this decision to pursue my dream of MBA last year December. I consulted one of my friend, and through that, I got to know regarding the eGMAT's course which is there. So this is regarding my background.
All right. All right. Thank you so much for this. So Rohan, you come from a defense background, and I remember having a chat with you a few months ago when we got in contact that you were getting in touch with studies after almost a decade, right? So I'm sure there would be some visible weaknesses initially when you began. Let's speak about your quant journey first. You scored a Q89, starting at a Q80. What were the initial challenges that you faced when you started with the quant journey?
So the initial challenges which I faced with the quant journey were the conceptual, knowledge which I was having, because many of the things we learned during our school times, and at that time you generally just mug up things, or we don't understand it pretty well. And now when you are again taking the same thing, you have to understand each and everything, the core concept behind each and everything. Then only it will help you or enable you to solve the question perfectly in the GMAT style, because it is all about the concepts which are there rather than calculations.
That's right. That's right. So now that you already knew your gaps, uh, tell us, how did you overcome these challenges? What part of the course helped you to get better and better with your quant knowledge?
So eGMAT has a good structured course in each and every pattern, and for that matter, in quant they have segregated or bifurcated it in several topics, specifically four big topics, and after that there are sub headings also. So they first check your basic knowledge about basic conceptual knowledge about each and everything. Then after that, they take that concept from there. They test your ability over there, and after that, they help you to increase that ability or have a good conceptual thinking about each and every aspect. I would like to tell regarding one thing, that is the pace feature, which is there in the eGMAT's online module. And that really helped me to save many hours in my preparation for quant. And regarding that, it checks your ability, and accordingly only it will tell you that what particular thing you have to you can just neglect and move on, because you particularly have that amount of ability in this. Like there are many sections in which you have good amount of ability or good hold over that particular topic. You can skip that and directly give the end quiz of that particular concept.
Correct. That's true. So I was just going through your quant attempt, and you've done the course very diligently. You've gone through every file, you used Space AI and leveraged it perfectly, right? You saved almost 35 hours using the Pace AI, right? And if you look at your journey, these A grades indicate diligent effort, consistent effort, right? And when I talk about your WP course, if you look at this, you saved almost 8.5 hours in this one course itself, right? So that speaks
Correct.
volumes about your diligence and your sincerity while going through this course, right? So, Rohan, I want to ask, how did the process skills that you learned on the course help you develop your quant ability that you ended up scoring a Q89, which is impressive?
So this process skills which are there, takes you to the depth of the knowledge for each and every concept, and due to that, you take those concepts and you can then frame your particular ability on or on around those particular concepts, and that helped me to solve each and every question, be it of any difficulty, whether it is of medium difficulty or whether it is of hard difficulty. So the core concept is the main part, and over and above the practice which is being imparted by the eGMAT's module, where there are varied amount of questions. I would say much database is there with them, with you guys in eGMAT, and that helped me solve or practice n number of questions, on different topics or different subsections, which over a period of time helped me to increase my ability also.
Right, right. Rohan, in your opinion, how did Scholarian questions and their resemblance or similarity with the questions on the official GMAT help you prepare for the official test?
I would say the questions which are there on Scholarium, they depict almost, almost all the questions, or 90 to 95%. It is similarities there in the questions. For that matter, when I gave my final or the first attempt. So in that, I found that out of 21 questions, almost 18 were similar to that particular concept or that particular framework which was provided in the questions of the scholar. And the difficulty level also, I felt that it is more or less the same.
That's nice. So I mean, this way you were like kind of completely equipped
Correct.
with what to expect on the GMAT. That's nice.
Correct.
We will come to more on quant once we start discussing your test day strategies and your mock stage.
Yes.
But for now, let us move on to the right. I remember you mentioning that verbal and DI were kind of a challenge for you, but verbal was a bigger challenge, right? So if you can just explain a little bit in detail as to what kind of challenges are you referring to when you say that verbal was challenging when you began with?
So the challenges which I'm referring to is that if we consider the verbal section, there are two parts, that CR and RC. And in CR, generally, you have to check the passage and then you have to answer the question accordingly, whatever is asked. And in RC, it's a bit of the different thing, in which there is a long passage, and based on that, you have to answer the questions. But what I feel is that you need to understand the passage first, and how to understand. The biggest challenge is that. So I was facing the biggest challenge in understanding the passage and what way we need to understand it. So there are particular breakpoints, which this course helped me to identify how the tone of the passage is changing in the case of RC. What is the main points that you need to take care of or need to keep in your mind while answering your questions, when to refer back to the passage, when not to refer back to the passage, how you have to scheme through the passage, or how much intensely you have to read the passage. All this methodology and skills really helped me to offset my challenges and move ahead, because I was a bit skeptical about how to answer the question within that 2 minutes of time frame in which I have to understand the thing and then answer the question. But there are certain techniques which were taught by this eGMAT course in a very streamlined manner, which helped me to deliver at the end.
So, if we talk specifically about CR, which by the end of your journey was, uh, one of your strengths, uh, how do you think did rethinking as a structured approach help you in developing your CR abilities and developing your verbal abilities as a whole?
I would say that pre-thinking is must. Just we don't have to skip that part. I was also doing the same mistake again and again, and I would like to tell one thing regarding the error log. So when I was maintaining my error log while practicing all the questions, I got to know that most of the questions I was faltering upon are the questions in which I was skipping the pre-thinking part, or I was just thinking about one particular aspect about the pre-thinking and just moving on, because I thought that I will be wasting much of the time on this question. But it's actually the opposite. The more you pre-think, the less time you will take in choosing between the options and eliminating the wrong answers, I would say that. So pre-thinking, the way how to pre-think, what to pre-think, and which are the instances in which you have to pre-think, all those were really wisely covered in this eGMAT framework. And I feel that yeah, pre-thinking is must in each and every CR based questions.
Right. If you could just, I mean, briefly explain how does the process work so that everybody watching this right now understands what exactly you're talking about.
So first you read the passage which is given, or the small argument which is given in the case of CR. Then you think about, first you understand what the passage is telling you, what the passage is asking you, what the passage is telling you particular things. Then based on that you pre-think that what the author is going to tell ahead, or what the author is trying to tell if it is an inference based question, or what the particular author is assuming in those. All these things you have to pre-think. You pre-think 2 to 3 instances in those which can happen. It might happen that whatever you have pre-thought about may not be in the question answer choices, but yes, that pre-thinking approach will definitely help you to eliminate many of the wrong answer choices which you think about. Because eliminating choices is difficult in case of CR. When you come to hard questions where the two choices which you are difficult to eliminate, you will be bit confused in that. And in that case, pre-thinking will help you a lot to eliminate the wrong answer choice instead of just eliminating the right answer choice.
That's nicely explained, I must admit. If I can just show your CR journey, uh, most of the grades are A with just one B. I think that was initially when you were not as consistent as
Correct.
you would have expected yourself to be. But if I have to show you something else also, your improvement on CR was impressive. Look at your improvement here in CR. These are all hard questions, right? You went from this, which is just a 52% hard accuracy, to an 80% hard accuracy, 95th percentile ability. And look at the time that it took you initially from 2.5 minutes to less than 2.5 minutes, less than 2 minutes and 15 seconds, right? So this is what a structured approach can do, right?
Correct.
Initially, even if
Correct.
may look like pretty time consuming, I think with practice, once it becomes second nature, I think the process
Yes.
becomes a lot instinctive, right?
Correct.
All right. So verbal improvement from a 74 to an 82, 8 points, impressive, right? Now let us speak about DI, right? Um, I remember discussing with you where you mentioned that you did have some apprehensions about how would you go about DI,
Yes.
and then but you've gone through the course really well. And if I can just show your you know grades over there, your cementing performances, they've been stunning, right? People usually are scared of MSR, but if you look at the way you waste it, it's fantastic. Look at this. These are two tall towers. And for everyone to note, this is standard time, not relaxed time. So please take us through your DI journey and what were your strategies to go through the DI journey to become better at DI. So if you can just explain that.
So DI, as it consists of different parts like graphs and MSR and TPA and your data sufficiency questions. Now that data sufficiency is a part of DI, there are some things which you need to understand is like where you are better, which part you are better at and which part you are not good at. So initially, when I started with DI, I was a bit apprehensive about what kind of questions will come. Then over a period of time, I went through each and every topics which were covered in the course, and after that the scholarinium. I would say the scholarinium has helped me a lot because the kind of questions which are there in the scholarinium are absolutely stunning. They cover each and every bits and pieces, and I would say every part of the earth. You will not get any anything or any database or questions related to all these things anywhere. So that helped me. And regarding MSR and graphs and TA, I was in graphs and table analysis. I was good at it, so I kept it in a way that I will use bit less of time on that. But I was not that good, as you know, that on data sufficiency part and on TPA, two-part analysis, I was not good at. So I would say that I took that, like whether I will improve on this in a structured manner. So I took a lot of time on data sufficiency to try to improve myself. I did improve definitely over a period of time, but then yeah, that particular approach of improving over a period of time by just, you know, the way you have to answer the questions, the way you have to think, and the way to understand the question, that what particular thing is asked in that question, that is more important. Because in MSR also many of the things are there in which there will be just a difference of one word, and that one word will, you know, change your answer from yes to no. I'll, for example, like at least two or at least greater than two. So if you skip
Right.
that word greater than, that will just, you know, be a disaster on the day of the exam or whichever exam you give.
Right. Rohan, let's get into your mock stage. Okay. And before that, in fact, the last 1 month, right? As much inconsistent as you were initially, you were fantastic in the last 1 month when I could feel that focus, I could see that consistency, I could see that enthusiasm and the determination to just go out there and ace it in the first attempt itself, right? And what I loved about you was that you were always open to feedback, however harsh or something that is not pleasing to the ear, right? But you were always open to that feedback. So the last 1 month, I think, was transformative. So let's understand your mock stage now, right? After doing the entire course, working on improvements, you read the mock stage. What were your strategies to go about the mock journey?
So first of all, when I gave the first mock in this last 1 month after I have been preparing, and once I gave the first mock, I was not able to manage the time well. So I faltered
Right,
on that. And as you remember, we talked after that we have to manage the time well along with the accuracy. It's not only about the accuracy; it's about
right,
the time management part also. So then in that I structured my way in which I was seaming through the questions, and I saw that wherever I am faltering or I am taking more time in that particular thing, I will just skip if I'm not particularly very good about those things, and I will
right,
strengthen on particular aspects where I'm bad at, like for example, maybe permutation and combination. I was not that good at permutation and combination, so I
right,
will improve on those. And most important is not to repeat the same mistake again and again. Like what I was
right,
doing is I was repeating the same mistakes in quant. I was doing many calculation mistakes, silly calculation mistakes.
right,
But yes, on the last day or whenever you are giving, you have to be calm and composed. And I just reduce that on basically. And yes, error log. Definitely, this error log helped me a lot for keeping track of where I am faltering and how to go about it, which is the most uh, expensive mistake, I would tell. So that particular thing has to be taken care of. And yes, as you told Dhruv, I remember that you don't have to miss out on any question. However bad you are on time management, you just go and click and don't miss out on any question. Otherwise, that will penalize you more. So yes, that was my approach. That I don't have to miss out on any question.
Sure.
Yes, it was definitely a confidence booster, and definitely the mocks which are given the six Sigma X, I would say, are resemblance to the exact particular scenario which is there in the exam. And I would say a plus point about Sigma mock over that of the GMAT MBA mocks is that it doesn't give you option to pause the particular exam or take the break longer than those. Like in the MBA.com quizzes or the mocks which are provided, you have an inherent option of pausing the quiz. Now, what happens is sometimes we as human, we tend to pause the quiz and then solve the questions. It might happen. So this particular thing of Sigma X mocks is very great, I would say.
All right. Thank you so much. So, do you believe that choosing the right sequence to go to the test plays a major role in deciding your success or failure?
I would say definitely. I would say definitely think about what is your plus points where you cannot falter, and definitely choose the first section in which you are the strongest. And you should also, I would say that you should decide on the break also, when you have to take your break, how your mind is performing. For everybody, it's different. For me, it was different. For me, it was like if I take quant first, then I would be able to perform better than if I take it as second or third. And for me, it was like I need a break before verbal, be it anyhow, because reading through all the big passages and grasping those, I need to be having a clear mind. So that's why I chose the sequence of giving quant first, then DI, and then a gap, and then verbal.
Okay, okay, that's a good insight. Right. Uh, so Rohan, now that we are coming to the end of this debrief session, uh, do you have any final advice to the GMAT aspirants who are going to be the test takers soon about things that you believe were right decisions or wrong decisions and they should take care of?
I would say that you need to take care about the sequence in which you are going on for preparing. I would say consistency is the biggest thing which you require for preparing for the GMAT examination. You have to be consistent. I was not that consistent in my first half of my preparation, and I could only be consistent in the last 1 month. So, barring that, I think that from day one, whenever you are preparing, be consistent about that. And most important, maintain an error log in which you can track your mistakes, how you are improving on mistakes, whether you are improving on those or not improving on those. That is also biggest thing to track. Because if you're doing the same mistakes again and again, that means that something is wrong with you. Something deep inside is wrong with you. It was wrong with me, and I then changed my approach towards solving the questions, I would say. And that is it. Keep calm and composed mind and at the end to give the exam.
All right, that is nice. So Rohan, your next steps, what are the plans? Where does Rohan go next?
I'll be applying for the B schools. I don't intend to move outside India, so I'll be applying in the B schools in India itself, and obviously targeting ISB or IIM Ahmedabad. And I'll be giving my applications, applying for the maybe round one or maybe round two on this, and then I'll move ahead with the things for the admission process.
Nice. So Rohan, we wish you all the best for the next steps.
Thank you.
We wish to let you know that we are not only super proud of your GMAT journey, but also super proud of the fact that you've been serving nation for such a long time, right? And we are proud of you in each and every way. So keep inspiring and keep in touch with us so that we can celebrate
Yes.
more success and victories with you. It has been a pleasant and an honor for us as eGMAT to have been a part of your journey.
Thanks a lot, Dhruv, and definitely it would not have been possible without the course, without the help of yours and various insights which you gave. And I like the part where you were harsh on me regarding my mistakes which I was doing, and not to commit those mistakes again and again. So thanks a lot, Dhruv, for supporting me and bearing with me, I would say, for last month, last 1.5 and so. And thanks to the eGMAT team, and I would say to everybody from your end.
Thank you so much for the kind words, Rohan.
Thank you.
This was great. Thank you so much.